How well does our current system serve diversity? The answer is fairly short, not very. Not very well. It doesn't represent the diversity. We live in a very diverse province. I mean, it's ethnically and racially diverse, it's religiously diverse, it's socially diverse, it's politically diverse. How well does our instrument of democracy reflect that diversity? Lousy. It's a blunt instrument. It's an all or nothing game where one person gets it all. And not surprisingly, the one person who gets it all tends to be the same kind of person every time. Tends to be fairly affluent, white men. Now, I got nothing against affluent white men. I'm sure they're all very nice people. And they should get some representation in the House. But should they get it all? Should they get most of it? I think we'd agree that's not quite fair. In fact, a lot of them would agree that that's not quite fair. We need to change the incentives that exist for our parties to reach out into our communities and represent us in all our diversity. The problem is our current system doesn't encourage the parties to do that. It offers them the wrong incentives. STV, like any proportional system, will change the incentives that are there for parties to respond to diversity, precisely because it's more competitive. That's what it comes down to. More competitive political systems offer more opportunities to try to hold parties accountable or risk losing that support to someone else. So that's the key thing. Because STV will be more competitive, parties will have to stay on their toes and they'll have to respond. If people want something new, they'll have to respond to it or risk losing that support. There are many people who feel marginalized because of their income, because of their age, because of their identity. I think STV will do a better job of putting that face on those people for politics. And for some people, just being seen and heard is the important part of the politics that isn't working right now. I think what's interesting about the time that we live in is that we hear all about innovation and competition, and these things are good, right? We want a society that is maximally innovative and competitive, and new ideas can get in there. Let the best ideas win. But our political system does just the opposite. Our political system is a very uncompetitive way of doing things. It's almost cartel-like. You know, the two largest parties dominate. Very hard for new parties and new ideas to break into the system. If we were to move to a system like STV, the single transferable vote, the system would be much more competitive. And I think that's what we need right now. We need a system that will respond as people think, I want new ideas, I want fresh ideas, or I want to hold those people who are in power now to account. And again, I think our current system fails in that way, that, you know, people who maybe they don't like party left, our system says, well, then vote for party right. Not much of a choice, you know, if you're a left-winger. And same from the right. Our system would allow for more choice on the left, more choice on the right, more choice in the center, if that's what people want. And, you know, I am very impressed with the common sense, get things done attitude of a lot of voters. They're not going to waste their time with people who just grandstand and don't want to get things done. So if we did elect a broader range of political opinion, I think people would be pretty harsh on those people. You better get some stuff done. Or next time I'm going to give my vote to someone else. So again, I think STV will offer us a competitive dynamic which will get some new ideas into the political system, and it'll force the old ones, the old players, to step up to the plate in terms of listening and incorporating these ideas into what they're doing. You know, people get enthusiastic about reform, and some people are very enthusiastic about STV and how STV will change everything about our polity. And I find that, you know, on the broader question of proportional representation, whether it's STV or any other kind of PR, I think it's important for people to have, you know, more measured expectations. These voting systems will not end world hunger or homelessness or lower our taxes. It's still going to matter what we do in our communities, how we organize. The difference is that if we organize, if we bring ourselves together, our neighbors, our friends, wherever they are, in our local community or across the province, STV will capture that better. So it just changes the terrain upon which we do our struggling democratically. But it's important for people not to expect that, you know, STV will end political bickering. You know, when we look at countries in Western Europe, they have lots of differences and disagreements. Their parliaments are full of people arguing about this and that. But what we do see in PR systems is at some point those politicians know they have to make decisions. At some point those politicians know they just can't keep holding out. They can't just keep blocking stuff from happening because they know that their voters are going to say, where are the results? I mean, I voted for you because you said the things I like to hear, but I just don't want to hear stuff. I want to see you do stuff. And those politicians know that under the incentive structure that is created in a PR system, they had better get something done before the next election time. So that's what I think we would see generally with the move from our current system to STV, something similar to those kinds of results in those European countries.